our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
In 1923, Bert R. Benjamin had a vision, an all-purpose tractor that could do more. With that, the Farmall was born. This year, Case IH is celebrating 100 years of Farmall. 100 years of milestones, 100 years of innovation, passion, grit. And they're doing it through your stories. Share them at farmall100.com. One lucky storyteller will win their own Farmall, the tractor that is the one for all.
Sunday. You take a morning walk to pick up burgers and beers. You tidy the house for 10 fellow football fans. And your biggest chore? Loading a Bud Light into the fridge. It all pays off because nothing is as easy to enjoy as a Sunday full of football. And beer. Bud Light. Easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023. Anheuser-Busch. Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Big Red Football.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole
the teams are built kind of similarly. You see them relying on their defense. Rutgers has a little more effective run game, so I think you're gonna see that. You're gonna see them try to play safe football, run the ball, and mix in some passes when they can. But they do a good job of running with Kyle Monungai, who's leading the Big Ten in rushing with 903 yards, and Gavin Wimsatt has 411 yards. He set the Rutgers single-season rushing record for a quarterback in all-time history. So they're going to rely a lot on the run and their defense, and they'll be happy to come away with a low-scoring game. But the two teams are pretty similar, so I don't think you're going to see a lot of points on the scoreboard. But I think Rutgers has a good advantage because their offense is, it's played a little better than Iowa has.
Rutgers on the road in Iowa City to take on the Hawkeyes, 2:30 Central on BTN. Bobby Darin of ScarletNation.com. Bobby, we appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
This is the Big Ten Blitz. Penn State.
Here to talk about the Nittany Lions, Corey Geiger, DKPittsburghSports.com. Big one this week for Penn State is they host the Michigan Wolverines. They're coming off a thumping of Maryland, 51-15. How do the Lions fans feel about the season to this point, Corey?
Well, it doesn't get any bigger than this. It's been a good season, but they lost their biggest game to Ohio State. So this is the issue with Penn State. You can have a good season, but how do you become great? How do you get to that elite level? Well, you got to beat Ohio State or Michigan, and they looked bad again in the game against Ohio State. And a lot of people were really, really down on them. So now this game is the season. This game really is the culmination of many years, to be honest with you, because you win this game, you still have a chance to go to the college football playoff. And quite frankly, I think as watered down as football is, Penn State could conceivably win the whole thing this year. You lose this game, and the narrative that Penn State and James Franklin can't win a big game will just intensify.
They would win this game by doing what in your eyes?
Well, the defense has to play great. Even though the offense was awful against Ohio State, the defense kept them in the game. So if the defense can, create some 3-and-outs or some 1 first-down drives, turn the field, get good field position, maybe get a turnover that leads right to points. They had a scoop-and-score fumble against Ohio State that was called back because of a penalty. That was a huge play in the game, huge play for the whole season. So if the defense can keep Michigan's offense off the field, that's certainly number one. And then offensively, Penn State's just got to be able to move the ball. They could not move the ball at all. They were 0 for 15 to start the game on 3rd down against Ohio State. These kinds of games come down to 3rd down, or a close 4th down call. So you got to be able to stay on the field, keep the chains moving. If they can do both of those things, that they could win, I think, maybe a low-scoring game. I think if this game gets into the upper 20s, it's going to be a challenge.
Would Penn State have preferred this game being at night, do you think?
This is a great conversation about where we are in college football. I think they would. The whiteout factor, it wouldn't be a whiteout because it's November. They would have already had it. The night game factor, the late afternoon game, that's what we've typically seen in big games basically forever. But somebody asked me that question earlier today, and I pulled up a story that these big noon games are outdrawing any other time slot from a TV rating. Greg, I'm surprised it took the TV network executives, those geniuses who run these TV networks, this long to figure out that if you put your very best games at noon, then eyeballs will follow. So I think Penn State would rather have this game be afternoon or night, but I think we've got to start getting used to the fact in the Big Ten these biggest games are going to be at noon.
Noon Eastern, 11 o'clock Central on Big Fox. Penn State hosting Michigan. Corey Geiger, we appreciate it. Have fun with this one.
Thanks, pal. Appreciate the time.
This is the Big Ten Blitz. Illinois.
Here to talk about the Illini, Steve Kelly of the Illinois Network. Illinois coming off a thrilling come-from-behind win over Minnesota, 27-26 in the Twin Cities last weekend. Man, what a finish to that game. And, Steve, to do that with a backup quarterback, that had to be special for the guys.
And what even made it very special was when he came in, John Paddock is his name. He was the starting quarterback at Ball State last year and played 4 years at Ball State, but he had that extra year, and he wanted to do it at Illinois. But he came in, it was 4th and 11 with about 90 seconds left at Illinois' own 15-yard line. So they had to have a first down or the game was over. As simple as that. But he got Isaiah Williams for about 20 yards for the first down. Then he hit Pat Bryant for another first down. And then he went over the middle again for 46 yards to Isaiah Williams. And they almost, I started to wonder, I said, what if they scored too fast on that? Because there were still 50 seconds left on the clock. But they went for two, didn't get it, and then the defense held. And it was a very improbable win, but one that Illinois really needs.
It certainly keeps the bowl hopes alive, doesn't it, Steve?
Yes, they're 4-5. They've got Indiana on Saturday, so they could get back to 500 if they can knock off the Hoosiers, who, by the way, have won 4 straight against Illinois in the last 4 meetings, so they kind of owe them one. And then they would have 2 games left after that. So, yes, they could get to that 6 number, but as you know how things go, you need to get to number 5 first.
As you alluded to, it's Indiana this weekend. As I remember last year, I think it was the opening game of the year. Illinois on a Friday night got beat in a game I thought that Illinois would win. So what's this matchup look like to you?
Well, that game last year, they were winning that game all the way till the very end, and Indiana came back with a late drive, 2-minute drill drive, and came back and won 23-20. Illinois is favored in this one, playing at home, Dad's Day, Military Appreciation Day. But as we've seen, I think which team's going to show up? You know, they've lost a couple games they felt they should have won. The most recent was the Wisconsin game when they were outscored 18-0 in the fourth quarter. So I don't think they're looking past anybody but Indiana. They're into that one-game season talk that the coaches like to talk. But it would be a good win for them if they could get it.
Illinois hosting the Hoosiers, 11 o'clock Central on BTN. Steve Kelly of the Illinois Network. Steve, we appreciate it.
As always, my pleasure. Thanks.
Cornerstone Bank is committed to providing you game-changing solutions for your financial needs. Bank on a solid foundation. Cornerstone Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. The current time is 12 minutes after 10 a.m. Central in Lincoln. It's a gorgeous day for football, and the current temperature here at Memorial Stadium is 52 degrees. I'm Matt Coatney in the Acres Broadcast Center, and the Big Ten Blitz continues.
Around the Big Ten, Ohio State.
The Ohio State Buckeyes still ranked number 1 on the college football playoff rankings, ranked 3rd in the Associated Press poll with a record of 9-0, 6-0 in the Big Ten. They welcome in Michigan State Saturday night. The Spartans are 3-6. It's a 52nd meeting all-time between the two schools. The Buckeyes lead the series 36-15. The Scarlet and Gray are 5-0 all-time in November night games. This game will feature the Buckeyes in the all-grays at home with scarlet numerals. A win Saturday night would give Ohio State their 30th 10 or more win season in school history. The Buckeyes enter the game 2nd in the nation in scoring defense, allowing 10.7 points per game. Kickoff Saturday night is at 7:30 at historic Ohio Stadium. With the Buckeyes, I'm Matt Andrews.
Around the Big Ten,
Purdue plays its first home game in 4 weeks hosting Minnesota. With last week's loss to Michigan, the Boilermakers can no longer become bowl eligible. The focus will shift to building momentum for next season. Kadron Jenkins and Nick Scorton have combined for 14 sacks this year, so look for Minnesota to establish its running game early. Meanwhile, the Gophers need one more win to gain their own bowl eligibility. Minnesota has won 8 of the last 10 meetings in the series. From Ross-Ade Stadium in West Lafayette, Indiana, I'm Tim Newton.
I'm Matt Coatney in the Acres Broadcast Center at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. That's the Big Ten Blitz, and that will wrap up the Countdown to Kickoff show. The Matt Rhule pregame show comes your way next.
The Matt Rhule pregame show is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative, helping Husker student athletes navigate name, image, and likeness. To learn more or to donate, visit 1890nebraska.com. Also brought to you by the India. Buckle up.
Good morning from Memorial Stadium, where today the Cornhuskers take on the Maryland Terrapins in another Big Ten clash today. You learn something from every football game. What'd you learn, and what was the lesson from last week's game?
Well, there certainly were a lot of them. I think for our guys, we had opportunities to battle through some adversity. I think the message for our guys is that if you make mistakes, when there's going to be mistakes in football, you have to play with elite effort and energy to overcome those mistakes. And for the first time this year, when we gave up a big play on defense, we weren't able to just kind of hold them to a field goal. We allowed a touchdown right afterwards, which changed the game. And I think those things are really, really critical. And on offense, us recognizing that if we're down by 10 in the fourth quarter, we can come back. We had our opportunities. We just needed to strain, make one more play. And special teams has to make some plays in the game that change the game. So I think if everyone just gets a little bit better this week, hopefully we can learn from last week.
Do you think Heinrich is thinking maybe too much? That talked about we just wanting to run through guys again.
Yeah, I think this is all part of the process of a young quarterback playing. As I remind him, I know he took that loss hard. He still is 5-2 as a starter at Nebraska, and not many people can say that. And so, this is it. Sometimes as parents, sometimes as coaches, we want to remove the obstacles, and there's always going to be obstacles, and players have to learn how to play through them. So is he thinking about a lot of things? Yes. There's a lot of things though to think about at quarterback. And my challenge to him, my encouragement, my advice to him is, man, just take all those things, but when the time comes, let it loose and go play. And he has another chance to do that this Saturday.
Nothing goes better with Husker Sports in Fairbury. Fairbury premium quality hot dogs. Deliver the home game experience to your family and friends. Fairbury, the official hot dog of Husker Nation. Well, I'm more with the coach coming up next.
This is the Matt Rhule pregame show, brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. You're listening to Big Red Football.
Allergy season is officially here. Your home should be a place where you can escape dust, pollen, and other allergens. But every time you enter your home, you bring them inside. John Henry's offers numerous products to remove allergens and germs from your home. Call John Henry's today to learn more about our indoor air quality products to breathe easier in your home.
435 55 55. John Henry's Plumbing.
I'm Tom Osborne, former football coach and founder of the Teammates Mentoring Program. I'm recruiting for the team, and I want it to be the finest team in America. I'm looking for someone like you to be a teammate's mentor, someone who is willing to reach out to a child and make a difference. Meeting with a student once a week at school can make an impact in their life and in the community. We want you to join our team. Go to teammates.org to apply today.
We could tell you all about what makes Ford F-Series the #1 trucks in America for 46 straight years. But why tell you when we could show you instead? Because in the Midwest, talk is cheap and actions speak. On the lake, on the job, or on the town. Choose the trucks that deliver on the claims. Ford F-Series is made for the real world. This is Chiefs Kingdom. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $3,750 bonus cash on F-150 XLT, official truck of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Hey Husker fans, it's Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. As we get ready to celebrate 1890's one-year anniversary, I'm proud to say the 1890 Initiative now represents 150 Husker student athletes in 9 sports. And with your help, we can keep 1890 going strong, helping student athletes get the most from their name, image, and likeness, and preparing them for life after college. Visit 1890nebraska.com to learn more about NIL and 1890 and contribute today.
SeatGeek's the ticketing app for fans like the sideline shot caller.
Come on, boys, pick up the pace!
SeatGeek got him a great deal on seats right near the action, so when he yells,
"Where are you going? Block him!"
he can be absolutely sure the players heard him. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Husker football brought to you in part by your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit buyfordnow.com for all your truck, SUV, and electric vehicle needs. Back with the head coach of the Cornhuskers before today's game against the Maryland Terrapins. You have seen good quarterbacks this year. Sanders, McCarty. Is Tonga Baialola in that same vein?
Oh, yeah, without question. J.J. McCarthy's, quarterback in the number 2 team in the country, and he's doing a great job of it. But, Tua's the engine that makes that thing go. I mean, he's accurate. He's dynamic. He can make plays with his feet. Makes great decisions. He protects the football. Really a special player. He obviously comes from a football family with his brother being the great player that he is. So. Will really be a great opportunity and challenge to go against him.
Boy, it looks like they throw it to everybody on the team. They make you defend sideline to sideline, don't they?
Yeah, they're going to come out. They're going to run the ball some, but they love to get the ball on the perimeter to their playmakers. They love to be aggressive. They love to push the ball down the field. They're going to play with great tempo, and they kind of have an answer for everything that you do. So, as I told our guys, there's really no secret way to win this game. This isn't like hey, if we do this, we win it. You're going to have to go out and you have to play. You're going to have to tackle. You have to get off blocks. You have to make plays when the time comes. And really, I'd love to see our team just be really free and go out there and shoot their shot.
Is he dangerous with his feet as well?
Yeah, and really more so his ability to get outside the pocket and create and throw the ball down the field. He'll very Mahomes-esque, man. He'll throw no-look passes. He'll take shots down the field. I mean, he's going to scramble around. And you look at our defense. We've played excellent defense this year, save a few explosive plays that we give up. And that was the story last week, explosive passes. This week, he'll challenge you because he can extend plays, and you have to be great in the scramble.
Speaking of defense, what about their defense? What stands out when you watch the tape?
Well, in terms of Big Ten games, they're the third best rush defense. They're really physical, really explosive up front. We have a young receiving core. I'm sure they're going to come out. They're going to play man. They're going to pressure the passer, pressure the run game. They're really good at what they do. And so they've got great players on defense. It's going to be one of those days where you go back to last week, you break a run for 15 yards and the safety tackles you or the corner tackles you. It's time that we bust out of that thing and run for about 70. So I'd like to see our guys go make the plays they're capable of making, that I believe that they're capable of making. But Maryland will not give you anything.
Was last week a good lesson for those young wide receivers of yours about how physical you better be in this league? Because it looks like Michigan State really pressed them hard.
Yeah, I warned them going into the game, and when you have guys with great speed like Jalen and Jaden and Malachi, the only real answer on defense, if you're not playing zone, is to grab guys and be physical. And knowing that the officials will call them some, and they did, but they're not going to call all day. And so that mentality is a smart mentality on defense, and it was good for our guys. As I said to them, I said, listen, this isn't going away. This is a lesson you're learning at 18. That once you learn how to overcome it, man, that these guys are going to be dynamic.
The 1890 Initiative, helping Husker athletes navigate name, image, and likeness. To learn more or donate, visit 1890nebraska.com. A final thought from the head coach coming up next
on the Huskers Radio Network.
SeatGeek's the ticketing app for fans like the sideline shot caller.
Come on, boys, pick up the pace!
SeatGeek got him a great deal on seats right near the action, so when he yells,
"What are you doing? Block him!"
you can be absolutely sure the players heard him. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sap Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sap Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sap Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Hey, Husker fans, it's Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. As we get ready to celebrate 1890's one-year anniversary, I'm proud to say the 1890 Initiative now represents 150 Husker student athletes in 9 sports. And with your help, we can keep 1890 going strong, helping student athletes get the most from their name, image, and likeness, and preparing them for life after college. Visit 1890nebraska.com to learn more about NIL and 1890 and contribute today.
Hey, Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rhule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
This is Big Red Football.
Hey, Husker fans, it's Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. As we get ready to celebrate 1890's one-year anniversary, I'm proud to say the 1890 Initiative now represents 150 Husker student-athletes in 9 sports. And with your help, we can keep 1890 going strong, helping student-athletes get the most from their name, image, and likeness, and preparing them for life after college. Visit 1890nebraska.com to learn more about NIL and 1890 and contribute today.
SeatGeek's the ticketing app for fans like the sideline shot caller.
Come on, boys, pick up the pace!
SeatGeek got him a great deal on seats right near the action, so when he yells,
"What are you doing? Block him!"
you can be absolutely sure the players heard him. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
This week's contestant for the Woodhouse block punt for a touchdown contest is Chris Brunghart from Gretna. If the Huskers block a punt, return it for a score, Chris could win a 2-year, 10,000-mile-per-year lease on a truck from Woodhouse. Go to huskers.com/Woodhouse for your official rules and how to enter. This is my favorite pregame show of the year. They play all 4 branches of the military song. It's Military Appreciation Day. Today is Veterans Day. It kind of goes hand in hand with football, doesn't it? What the military does and the great game that we get to play.
Yeah, well, we're only able to play this game because of the men and women who serve our country and protect our freedom. So for that, we're very grateful. And, in many ways, the lessons you learn in playing football are the same lessons, you apply in the military. Honor, integrity, selflessness, sacrifice, being a part of something bigger than yourselves. And so, obviously, they have way higher stakes at that level in what they're doing. But, we're obviously grateful to be able to honor the people who allow us to do the things that we love to do.
It's going to be a great day. Go get a win.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Comments of the head coach of the Huskers. Farmers Mutual Nebraska. Experience the personalized difference when your insurance is kept local. Visit fmne.com to contact an agent near you. We've got more pregame coming up next.
On the Huskers Radio Network.
Challenge. It's not something you shy from. It's a chance to up your game. Every day brings a new challenge. But with the enhanced Channel Seed brand on your side, you can rise to it. With our top-performing seed, innovative digital tools, and expanded agronomic support, you can turn tomorrow's challenges into your next advantage. Your enhanced Channel Seed brand. Let's rise to the challenge. Learn more at channel.com/rise. Read and follow pesticide label directions, IRM, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices.
Pioneer is proud to partner with Iowa and Nebraska in the Pioneer Heroes game on November 24th. This coveted trophy game is about more than winning. It's about those in our local community who inspire us in our everyday lives. From the school bus driver to the volunteer firefighter, there are those that make a difference and, simply put, make our lives better. Every community has their heroes, and Pioneer is proud to honor those who stand as an inspiration to others in the Pioneer Heroes game.
Welcome back to the Acres Broadcast Center at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. I'm Matt Coatney. The 1890 Initiative, helping Husker athletes navigate name, image, and likeness. To learn more or donate, visit 1890nebraska.com. Get Ready Nebraska. Greg Sharp, Damon Benning, and Jessica Cootie are all ready to go. Nebraska versus Maryland. Husker football next.
The following is an exclusive presentation of the Huskers Radio Network.
The 31st head coach of the University of Nebraska's football program, Mr. Matt Rhule.
It's time for Nebraska Cornhuskers football.
They fake the handoff. Tubman keeps it himself. Touchdown!
A new era begins in Husker football.
Touchdown, Nebraska!
I
want to build a team that's tough. I want to build a team that's hardworking. I expect our guys to be tough. I expect them to work hard, and I expect them to compete, and I expect that because I and my staff will do the same thing every day.
It's time for the Pre-Kick Show, brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery.
After a red October that saw Nebraska post a 3-0 mark, the Huskers had some cold water splashed on them last week in East Lansing, dropping a 20-17 decision to the Michigan State Spartans. Today, back in Lincoln on Military Appreciation Day, the Huskers look to notch their 6th win of the year as they host the Maryland Terrapins. Good morning from beautiful Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. I'm Greg Sharp. Last week, the turnovers were a problem again for the Big Red as they committed 3 of them. That, coupled with allowing some big plays to the Spartans, along with some head-scratching calls, spelled defeat. Despite the loss, the Huskers are still alive in the strange world of the Big Ten West. They enter play today trailing Iowa by 1 game and still play the Hawkeyes on Black Friday. The Huskers also need 1 more win to become bowl eligible. That can come here today against a Maryland team that comes to Lincoln on a 4-game slide. The Terps won their first 5, but have not tasted victory since September the 30th when they beat Indiana. The Terrapins have one of the top offenses in the league, led by talented quarterback Talia Tagovailoa. Tagovailoa. Got to get that all day long, right? It's Nebraska hosting Maryland, and the winner today becomes bowl eligible. When we come back, we'll hear from former national champion Damon Benny. We'll get his thoughts about today's matchup as pregame continues from Lincoln.
You're listening to the Pre-Kickoff Show, brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery on the Huskers Radio Network.
Challenge. It's not something you shy from. It's a chance to up your game. Every day brings a new challenge. But with the enhanced Channel Seed brand on your side, you can rise to it. With our top-performing seed, innovative digital tools, and expanded agronomic support, you can turn tomorrow's challenges into your next advantage. Your enhanced Channel Seed brand. Let's rise to the challenge. Learn more at channel.com/rise. Read and follow pesticide label directions, IRM, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Hi, I'm a volleyball. It's an okay life. I go back and forth about it. But I really wish I was a Nebraska Lottery Powerball or Mega Millions Mega Ball. See, all they have to do is mix around in a big plastic bubble and roll down a ramp, and then people win millions. What a great life. As for me, I get thrown around all day and have to worry about getting spiked, which is about to happen right now. Oh, ow! Couldn't you just do a nice, gentle tip?
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Congratulations. You're having a little girl.
At that moment, everything changed. Our hopes and dreams for ourselves were instantly replaced by our hopes and dreams for her. We got life insurance policies from Shelter Insurance, so that regardless of what life throws at us, we'll still be able to provide the world to her.
Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
See Shelter agents Tanya Blaine or Jesse Dunbar in Norfolk or Agent Bud Morrell in Ogallala.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
This is Big Red Football.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers. You ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town. Or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Did you know that Lincoln's water is 4 times more hard than what is recommended? This will shorten the life of your water heater, harm pipes through mineral buildup, and is bad for your hair, skin, and clothes. What's the solution? A water softener. Go online to jhlincoln.com to learn more about water softeners and our flexible financing offers, or call
John Henry's
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
You're listening to the Pre-Kickoff Show, brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery on the Huskers Radio Network.
And welcome back. And joining us today in the broadcast booth is the BMO fan of the game, John Hoyt, a very well-known entrepreneur, real estate developer, and philanthropist. John, you began your business career as a teenager with one lawnmower. Tell me about that.
Well, my mother died when I was 16 from my father's alcoholism, and so I took a Sears Craftsman lawnmower, and he died right after that, bankrupt, and I took a Sears Craftsman lawnmower, started mowing lawns, and never stopped, and raising 4 sisters and a brother.
Oh, what an impressive story. You also have a book from the ground up that details your entrepreneurial career, your lessons learned, including your formula for success. Whose idea was it to do a book? Was that you?
I just, everybody kept saying, you can't make up, but it's just a life of experiences, and they said you should write a book and tell the story about helping other people to not give up, but always give them a hand up, not a handout, and help people, encourage them to be a winner, just like the Huskers.
Wow, you are a huge Husker fan. Do you remember your first Husker game?
I do.
When was that?
I was about 18 years old, and Dr. John Alley brought me. I mowed his lawn, and he said, "Have you ever been to a Husker game?" I said, "No," and he brought me and never stopped going since.
What year was that?
1976, the year I graduated from Westside.
Ah, that must have been great. Who's your all-time favorite Husker football player?
Johnny Rogers.
Oh, my goodness. You know, he sits down the press box from us a little bit, and he still looks like he could go back and return punts.
I love him, and I'm a big, now I have a foundation of my own, and we give money to the Johnny Jett Awards.
Oh, my goodness.
So we love him, and we believe in him, giving all the students that he helps, giving a hand up and not a handout, encouraging them to go to technical colleges and learning trades, because trades are very important in our world.
They are. I wish I had another hour to talk to you, but John Hoyt is our BMO fan of the game. We really appreciate it. Can I get a Go Big Red from you before you
Go Big Red!
John, thank you. This has been fun. I'm Matt Coatney. That's our BMO fan of the game, John Hoyt. Let's send it back to Greg Sharp.
All right, thank you, Coach. Great to hear from John. Hope he has a good day today. That's a guy you're familiar with, DB.
Yeah,
right?
that's good. Very good friend, John Hoyt. Huge sports supporter, very philanthropic. Great guy. Loves his sports.
Very good. All right, Huskers and Terrapins doing their warm-ups right now. First time we've been at home at 11 a.m. to get a game underway. Got to get the juices flowing a little quicker, don't we?
Yeah, a little late arriving crowd, but I like the contrast of the fighting road whites for the Terrapins and Nebraska and their traditional home unis, man. I'm looking for not only a contrast in styles, but actually a contrast in how both teams want to move the football.
Tony White was certainly fired up earlier this week. I think you were glad to hear that, and because it's going to be a challenge. Tagovailoa and this offense will pose a risk to Nebraska today.
Yeah, the ball comes out so quick. He has the ability to improvise, a lot of bubble screens, tunnel screens. It's a lot of quick games. So it's going to stress Nebraska in terms of tackling in space. Not as much stress with the run game like maybe a week ago, but those DBs got to be up to the task.
Well, we learned since you were on a Husker game day, no Quentin Newsome today. He is on the out, not dressed for this game today. How about now a shuffle in that secondary?
Yeah, going to be different. You know, Buford will get the start today, and going to have some young guys step up. The Lynhams, the Ethan Nations of the world. So it's all hands on deck in Nebraska secondary. But the way they practice, G-Sharp, with so many guys getting work and making sure you're going against quality, they should be able to step up. Now, it is a tall task with this athleticism outside the numbers.
You can help your secondary by getting pressure. And Maryland has given up sacks a lot the last couple of weeks. How much do you think Tony White wants to pressure up front?
Yeah, so the cat and mouse will be that right there, because I don't think Maryland will be able to get the ground game going traditional, just handing it to Hemby and saying, here, go run. But if you can get Tagovailoa to clutch, pull it down once, then you give yourself a chance, because you know he likes to throw on rhythm and on time, but he is crafty outside the pockets, and Nebraska gets after him. Gotta make sure you keep him in the fireplace. You don't want fire outside in the forest.
A lot of people track yards after catch, yak yards. How big is that today maybe for the Husker defense?
Huge. I think it may be the #1 stat. It's not completion percentage or passer rating or anything like that. We saw a week ago he started 17 of 17. I'm not sure he threw a ball over 15 yards. So, you know, that's not really where the money is. The money is getting guys to the ground after they make a catch.
All right, let's flip sides of the ball. Heinrich Haarberg, not his best game last week. Even looked out of sorts in that third quarter. I thought he played better in the fourth quarter of that game, and I get the sense the coaches are trying to get him to just stop thinking and go play football.
100%. That's it right there, right? You know, Coach Rhule, and you heard Coach Satt on, was it Thursday? He said, listen, just have some fun, go run through somebody's face mask, but get back to being you. And Coach Rhule, you know, he said, listen, I don't get on him about mistakes. I get on him about not embracing the opportunity and loving the game. Just don't succumb to this. And by this, I mean this beautiful atmosphere that we're seeing here at Memorial Stadium and the pressure of being a quarterback. Look at it as a privilege and get back to being you.
How about Maryland defensively? All the headlines on their team go to the offense because of the numbers they've put up. What have you seen from Maryland on that side of the ball?
Talented up front. Like, they'll be active with that front four, but they are thin, razor thin on the back end. You're playing some young corners, don't have a lot of room for error. They play this soft coverage in terms of zones. Nebraska can, here we go again. Can they play catch?
Yeah.
And move the football that way, because there'll be some plays to be had.
You mentioned Tagovailoa, 17 for 17 to start the game last week. What kind of dream of numbers like that for Nebraska's offense? That's hard to do, but when you have the opportunities, make them happen. That'll be a thing, I think, today for Heinrich, because there were opportunities last week that were there.
And I think Nebraska can run after the catch today. Keep an eye on something in the intermediate, the 10 to 15-yard area, and then running after the catch. That will be there.
Pioneers proud to partner with Iowa, Nebraska in the Pioneer Heroes game on November the 24th, honoring local heroes who positively impact the community and stand as an inspiration to others. Pioneer proudly celebrating our local communities. Huskers headed back toward the locker room. Maryland with those all-white uniforms. They've already departed the field here at Memorial Stadium. Mostly cloudy skies overhead, but very comfortable temperatures. We're in the low 40s or mid-50s right now for this game today. And the wind's starting to kick up out of the south. I don't think Nebraska minds a windy day here today. Let's get a report down on the sideline. The third member of our broadcast crew, Jessica Cootie, who's been watching the Huskers get warmed up.
Well, let's start with the bad news. No Quentin Newsome. He is down here on the sidelines, but not in uniform. He is in street clothes. Malcolm Hartsock left early last game with the concussion protocol, but he is back in full uniform. I was watching the team warm-ups, and it looks like starting in the secondary is going to be Hartsock, Tommy Hill, Marquise Buford, Isaac Gifford, and Omar Brown. And Billy Kemp was again back out here going through full warm-ups. He was 1 at punt return, and Ethan Nation was back at 2. I noticed when Coach Rhule came right out of here after the team came out here, he went right up to Ethan Nation, had a conversation with him. Very likely could see more of Ethan Nation here today. Another great thing to see, Ethan Piper is down here being wheeled around in a wheelchair. He came out, went right over there, of course, to those offensive line warm-ups. Turner Corcoran also down here on a scooter as well. So extra warm-ups also today. I took note of getting some of those young guys in, some of those young freshmen, especially those freshman offensive linemen, extended warm-up period here, so always great to get those guys experience. Greg, you mentioned it. This is the first time that the wind is going out of the south. Typically, we're talking about those flags on the north end zone blowing in, but it is blowing out, and it has started to pick up a little bit. Could play a factor here today.
Yeah, no doubt. That could be 2 quarters you're going into it, 2 quarters with the wind at your back. She mentioned Ethan Nation in the punt return game. Maybe even on defense, Ethan gets some snaps.
Right, and he wants to play, right? Opportunity was presented. Listen, we know the magic number for red shirts and things of that nature, but listen, these guys are competitive, and they want to win, and if they can contribute, let's play football.
Pride of all, Nebraska, the Cornhusker Marching Band entertaining the crowd before the start of today's game. We're back with more pregame thoughts next.
You're listening to the Pre-Kickoff Show, brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery on the Huskers Radio Network.
There's no community like a Cenex community, and that's why every Cenex store is so proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. Your local Cenex doesn't just work in your town, it lives there. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
It's being well supported by a provider who understands your health interests and goals. It's ensuring you are well connected to a team of caregivers and specialists. It's feeling well cared for by having someone you can turn to who sees you for you. That's the power of being well matched. And that's exactly what CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match does. Meet the provider who is right for you at myprovidermatch.com.
Sunday morning. You can smell it. Game day. And the brisket you've been smoking since last night. A day to be with family, aka fellow football fans. Traditions make Sundays easy to enjoy. Beers do too. Bud Light. Easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch. Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
There are a lot of rates out there, and it can be tough to find the right one. Well, let's make it easy. With FNBO's special offer CD of 5.5% APY for 3 or 7 months, you can earn more, save more, and do more. That's 5.5% annual percentage yield for 3 or 7 months with a minimum deposit of $500 and an FNBO Premier checking account. Give your savings a great big boost with the Great Big Small Bank. FNBO, member FDIC.
This is Big Red Football.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails.
Important holiday and to pay tribute to the men and women of America's armed forces, we present this medley of the service anthems. Those on active duty, veterans, and family members are invited to stand when your anthem is played as Professor Tony Falcone, director of the Cornhusker Marching Band, conducts the Armed Forces Medley. The United States Army. United States Marine Corps. United States Navy. United States Air Force. United States Coast Guard. The United States Space Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise, remove your hats, and stand at attention as we observe a moment of silence to honor those who have fallen in service of their country. Thank you. Now please remain standing as we honor America with our national anthem, performed today by Major Sergeant Samantha Renner. By executive order of the Commander-in-Chief, all active duty military personnel in civilian attire and military veterans are authorized to maintain their cover and render a proper hand salute. The colors are being presented by a combined unit of active and reserve members from the United States Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, and Space Force. The names of those with Nebraska ties who've lost their lives in armed conflict since the September 11th attacks will scroll on the Husker Vision screens.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave
Husker fans, let's hear it for today's volunteers, including military veterans and members of Nebraska Leadership Society who helped us celebrate Veterans Day and honor America by holding the American flag. And now, Nebraska's own Hail Varsity!
Projected starting lineup for your Nebraska Cornhuskers. Presented by J-Tech Construction and Solar. On the offense, Teddy Prohaska, Justin Evans Jenkins, Ben Scott, Nuri Nuwili, Bryce Benhart. Receivers at tight end, Nate Borkercher. Thomas Fedoni II. At slot receiver, Jaden Dawes. At wideout, Alex Bullock. Malachi Coleman. In the backfield, at running back, Emmett Johnson. And at quarterback, Heinrich Harburg. The defense, Ty Robinson, Nash Hutmaker, Cameron Lenhart. Linebackers, Makai Bear, Luke Reimer, Nick Henrich. The secondary, Malcolm Hartzog, Isaac Gifford, Marquise Buford Jr., Omar Brown, Tommy Hill. The specialists at kicker, Tristan Alvano. At long snapper, Marco Ortiz. And at punter, Brian Buscini.
Today is more than football. It's a day to celebrate freedom, to honor those who proudly serve, to remember those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. Patriotism is Nebraska. These values were chiseled into these walls 100 years ago. They promise to defend. We promise to support.
To me, it's about sacrifice, protecting the unit and the greater good, and making that willing choice. Those are the same things we're trying to get our guys to do.
Stand tall, Huskers. There is no place like Nebraska.
My name is Brian Banks. I'll be your referee today. Ed Feaster is your umpire. The remaining of our crew is split between your respective team sidelines. Today we're joined by Major General Craig Strong. Before we get started, I'd like to take a moment to show our appreciation and support for Major General Craig Strong and all those who have, are, and will serve and protect our great country. Thank you. Today, we're using a commemorative coin. The end will be heads, the logo will be tails. This is heads, tails. Maryland, you're the visitors, therefore you get to call the toss. What's your choice? Tails is called. It is heads. Good to throw? Okay, we'll take the ball. Which way do you want to kick? We'll kick that way. All right, we'll spin this way. Nebraska has won the toss. They've elected to defer. They will kick towards this end zone. Good luck today, gentlemen.